Good Wednesday morning to you. Welcome to the November 13th map discussion. This is our satellite and surface map. As you can tell, we got high pressure over southeastern Canada, nosing its way through the eastern seaboard into the Carolinas. You see these kinks in the yellow lines. And what your eyes are probably drawn to is back towards the west. We have a couple of systems, one in the central part of the United States and the other one coming into the Pacific Northwest. And then we have the carcass of Rafael down in the northern Gulf of Mexico, contributing to some rains along the Gulf Coast. So let's get into the forecast. All right, we're going to introduce New Map Wednesday. This is our new map. This is actually from the Aviation Weather Center, still part of the National Weather Service, but these are our Prague charts that they call them. Here is the weather map at 8 a.m. this morning. You can see some rain associated with the carcass of Hurricane Rafael affecting the coastal regions up towards Memphis, and high pressure nosing its way across the Carolinas from northeast Canada. As we go through the day today, some of that moisture from Rafael gets sucked up into this system, and some pretty hefty rains are expected across the Ohio River and Tennessee River valleys by this evening. And into the overnight, you can see some wintry precipitation in the higher elevations, starting to nose its way into parts of West Virginia and Virginia. Meanwhile, rain pretty much for the North Carolina mountains. And on Thursday morning, we expect some pretty decent amounts of precipitation. And notice that this high pressure is still nosing its way in to the Carolinas. So this is Thursday. Let's take a closer look at Thursday. Here's the effects of that high pressure center in southeastern Canada. All the way up into southeastern Canada, that high pressure center is pumping in some pretty cold, dry air into the western parts of North Carolina. This is resulting in some clouds, some rain, and very cool temperatures. 45 degrees as a high in Hickory, 49 in Charlotte. Meanwhile, we warm up a little bit towards the coast in the mid 60s and low 70s, but across the western Piedmont and foothills of North Carolina and parts of the upstate, we'll see temperatures not getting out of the 40s. Now, with this comes the precipitation, and the amount of precipitation by, let's call it 1 a.m. on Friday, is about an inch across the Charlotte metro area. A little bit more as you head north, about an inch, 1.35 inches, about an inch of rain in Asheville, about an inch towards Murphy. Towards Savannah, you're barely getting a tenth of an inch, a little bit less, a lot less, towards Savannah. That's the effects of this high pressure center in the southeastern part of Canada. Still expecting some rain across our area with maybe even some icing across the northern parts of North Carolina mountains. If we zoom in here just a bit, you can see some possibility of icing across the higher terrains, the peaks of the northern North Carolina mountains. So this is Thursday morning. This is probably the best time, but that should quickly change to rain by afternoon at the earliest or at the latest. But right now, nothing too major right now. But as we march on through Thursday evening, A low pressure center develops towards the coast of northern South Carolina near the Wilmington and Myrtle Beach area. Meanwhile, rain starts to end across the Piedmont and mountains of North Carolina. And by Friday morning, that low center might bring some heavier precipitation across the tidewaters of Virginia towards Elizabeth City in North Carolina and the Outer Banks. But the rain has ended by 8 a.m. or I'm sorry, 7 a.m. Friday morning. And as that system goes off the coast, we look back towards the west for another developing system, bringing some pretty hefty snow across the Rocky Mountains. Meanwhile, high pressure starts to build in and take control of our weather through the weekend. So this is our weather map at 7 a.m. Sunday, November 17th, 7 a.m. Monday. This system across the central parts of the United States and to the western parts of the United States might be fairly large. So this next storm system next week might bring some severe weather across the southern plains and some very heavy snow in the Colorado, Wyoming areas next week. That might be a pattern shifter. We'll have to see. But this is going to be, right now, it looks like to be a fairly large system that takes shape. I'll do it for this particular map discussion. We got probably one more warm up before we might see a pattern shift with the storm next week. Some of the models indicate that some very cooler temperatures for this time of year will be making its way across the southern parts of the United States, anywhere from New Mexico and Colorado eastward through the Carolinas and even towards Pennsylvania and even Florida. But that's something we'll have to watch. This is still days in advance, but we'll keep an eye on it. But thank you for watching the video. I hope you've got something out of it, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.